Well, a very good morning to all of you students of 11A Science. I am about to start with the lesson chapter number 5 from Snapshots, that is Mother's Day. So let us move on. So as I told you all in my previous class that Mrs. Pearson, she went on criticizing Doris, she went on criticizing Cyril also at the same time, and she told them that it is high time that they should be responsible, they should be mature enough, because it seems that they are not self-independent at all, and every time they depend on their mother. And they thought, particularly Cyril and Doris, they thought that probably she is acting, or probably she is playing a prank on them, but it turned out that this particular thing backfired, and she went on scolding and humiliating them more and more. So now I am moving on to page number 42. So today in this class you will get to know about another important character. You will get to know about Pompey Pearson also. So see, actually the way Mrs. Pearson was behaving with her two children, they haven't seen her talk like this, and that is the reason they are very, very surprised. See the dialogue of Doris, and obviously, as you know, whenever Doris was scolded, every now and then she used to cry. Okay, every now and then she is crying once again. And look at her dialogue. What's making you talk like this? What have we done? Okay, why you are talking like this, mother? What have we done? Mrs. Pearson, nothing, but come in, ask for something, go out again, then come back when there's nowhere else to go. Okay, now Mrs. Pearson in reply told Doris that nothing, you all get inside the house casually, stay here for some time, then again you go out, then again you come back, as if you have nowhere else to go. So when you have nowhere else to go, you come back to the house, and your behavior, your reckless, careless behavior is something that disheartened me a lot. I am very much disheartened. It's something very unfortunate. Now when she is criticizing and scolding them, at this time only Cyril, remember Cyril is the boy of Mrs. Pearson, and Doris, she is the daughter, and Cyril is the son. Okay, now Cyril is very arrogant, okay, and he became more aggressive. And look what is his dialogue. If you won't get tea ready, then I will find something to eat myself. Okay, fine, if you don't get the tea ready, then definitely I will find myself something to eat. That means I will help myself by going to the kitchen room and preparing something. Mrs. Pearson, we know that from outside she is Mrs. Pearson, but from inside it is Mrs. Fitzgerald, and that is what Mrs. Fitzgerald actually wanted. She wanted that her family members should get a taste of their own medicine, and not only that, they should be made aware of the fact that whatever work is needed that is related to them, they should do it instead of taking help from her. But we find previously also in the dialogues that we get to listen from Cyril, in the dialogues that we get to listen from Doris, that they are most of the time they were dependent on slight pretext on every occasion, whatever the work is, whether a major work or a minor work, they are always dependent on Mrs. Pearson. So it is high time that their mentality should be rectified, and it seems that somewhat Cyril's mentality got rectified when he decided that he will help himself by going to the kitchen and will eat something by preparing on his own. And look what Mrs. Pearson is saying. Why not? Help yourself, fine. You go to the kitchen and you help yourself. Cyril, turning on his way to the kitchen, mind you, I think it's a bit thick. I have been working all day. Okay, now Cyril, while he was going to the kitchen room, he turned back and he again interacted with Mrs. Pearson, and he told Mrs. Pearson that let me remind you that you are going too far. You are a bit harsh on both of us. I have been working all day. Doris, same here. And I hope in that particular special class I referred to this, that they both are good for nothing. If we consider Doris's activity, Doris loves to wear new dresses, fond of makeup, and fond of roaming with boyfriends. Okay, that is what Doris does. And her present boyfriend is Charlie Spency. Remember, quote unquote, buck teeth and half-witted. Remember, these lines are very important. And obviously, regarding Cyril, as I told you, gambling, ice shows, dog races, these things, okay, he is more into all this. And he spends a lot of his father's money, that is the money of George Pearson, and both of them behave as if they do a lot of creative work, they do a lot of reformative work. Practically speaking, honestly speaking, they do nothing. They just simply waste their time and waste their money, okay, particularly their parents' money. And now both of them, they feel like their mother won't say anything, because their mother haven't told anything to them from the very beginning of their childhood. But now it is Mrs. Fitzgerald who performed the magic. Now definitely she will scold them, and already she started scolding them, criticizing them a lot. Okay, so now as I told you all, before moving towards the kitchen room, Cyril told that I have been working all day and I do feel that you are a bit harsh on us. Now Doris also replied in this case. Doris told, same here, I do feel like this, same. Mrs. Pearson, 8-hour day, that means 8 hours per day. And when she uttered this dialogue, she uttered in a very calm and quiet manner. Cyril, yes, 8 hours per day, and don't forget it. Mrs. Pearson, I have done my 8 hours. Yes, I have completed. I have done my 8 hours. Just like outside, you all work 8 hours per day, because in the West, okay, their working duration is 8 hours per day, and in a week there are 7 days, but they work 5 days in a week. 8 hours for 5 days. 8 into 5 is 40. So now she is in her dialogue, she is referring to that. She is referring to that rules and norms, that yes, since you work outside and you work 8 hours per day, so if you consider my work that I do inside the house, by staying inside the house, I have done my 8 hours. Now in reply to that, Cyril and Doris, they are astounded. They haven't realized that their mother will be talking about all this. Previously she talked about workers union movement. Remember, yesterday I discussed about it, that she talked about workers, unions and movement. Now she is talking about 8 hours work schedule. Okay, she is now talking about this. Now see, I have done my 8 hours. Cyril, that's different, because you stay at home, you are a homemaker, we work outside. Our work and your work, don't mix it up. Your work and our work, it is completely different. Doris, of course it is. Mrs. Pearson, but Mrs. Pearson is not getting aggressive right now. She is very calm and quiet. It was. Now it isn't. No, previously it was. Now I realized it. Since you all work for 8 hours, in my case, it will be exactly the same. That means I also will be following the same work schedule that is implemented outside, even inside the house also, in my case. 40-hour week for all now. Just watch it at the weekend when I have my 2 days off. And just like you all get 2 days off, and 8 hours for 5 consecutive days you work, and the last 2 days, that is the weekends, Saturdays and Sundays, you take off. I am very much eager to implement the same thing in my life. I repeat one more time. What I means, I am referring to Mrs. Pearson. She has also decided to implement the same thing in her life. Okay, see this line, and hereby I underline it in your text also. Please underline this line. It's very, very important. Okay, please underline this line. Can you all listen to me properly? Okay. Now I am just moving on. Am I audible? Just now what I told. Can everyone listen to me up to this? Yes, Biprodeep, Devannoy. Have
yes,
you all?
Sir.
Okay, fine. So have you understood that 40-hour week? That part, have you understood, everyone? Okay. So she also wanted that in her case the same work process and the work duration, the schedule must be maintained in the same way. That is what she is trying to say, that 40 hour for her also it will be like that, and she also wants 2 days off. Okay, and I told you to underline this one. Just watch it at the weekend when I have my 2 days off. This is something very, very important. Okay, very, very important. Now Cyril and Doris exchange alarm glances. Then they stare at Mrs. Pearson, who returned their look calmly. Now Cyril and Doris, they never expected that in this way, their mother will talk, okay, and their mother will say so many things regarding this. Previously, she dealt with workers, union and movement. Now she is talking about that 40-hour work schedule, working for 5 days a week. And Doris and Cyril, they forever considered their mother to be meek and mild and docile. All of a sudden, when she is uttering all these things, they are very surprised, or rather to say, they are very shocked. Not only, dear students, they are shocked, but they are astounded also. astounded. They are surprised, they are astounded at the same time. So now I am moving on to the dialogue of Cyril. Now Cyril, he was not eager to waste any more time. So what he is saying, must grab something to eat. Looks as if I will need to keep my strength up. Yes, I have to keep my strength up. I have to eat something. So by saying it, he went once again inside the kitchen. Doris, mother, you don't mean you are not going to do anything on Saturday and Sunday? And of course that is the reason why, because as I told you, Doris, she doesn't know anything related with kitchen work, and that is the reason when she got to know that her mother won't be working on Saturday and Sunday, she wants 2 days off. Okay, now listening to that, Doris is a bit anxious, okay, because already if that 40 hours week, that strategy, if it is been implemented at home, okay, by Mrs. Pearson, then definitely it will be a big problem for Doris, because she can't prepare anything at all. Okay, she can't prepare anything. So see, that is the reason she thought that this ultimatum that was given by Mrs. Pearson, who knows, it may turn out to be true also. She might go off on a weekend vacation on Saturday and Sunday. It can happen. See, mother, you don't mean you are not going to do anything on Saturday and Sunday? Mrs. Pearson, no, I wouldn't go that far. I might make a bed or two and do a bit of cooking as a favor. No, I won't be. It is not that I won't be doing any work. Definitely I will be doing work. I will be cooking also. I will be preparing the bed also. Okay, I will be doing work, but I need a favor. What favor she wants from them? See, it is written, which means, of course, I will have to be talked very nicely and thanked for everything and generally made a fuss of. But any of you 40-hour-a-weekers who expect to be waited on hand and foot on Saturday and Sunday with no thanks for it, are in for a nasty disappointment, might go off for the weekend perhaps. Now, what she's saying to them, that of course I don't need anything else from you all. I need from you all polite way of talking with me, a polite gesture, and thank you, a big thanks, and then only I will be doing all the work. But if you all remain the same as you are even on weekends, then I think I have to take another alternative. Then I might go out on Saturdays and Sundays outside, and I be on my own then. Okay, now what I need from you all, I need that you all will talk, interact, behave, deal with me very nicely, and you all will thank me for everything, whatever work I was doing or I will be doing. Now, if there is a change in your mentality even on the weekends, on Saturdays and Sundays, then I might think of going somewhere else to spend my Saturdays and Sundays. That was what she told Doris and Cyril. Okay, so now I am moving on. To the next page. Any doubt up to this? Devanoy, Biprodeep, any doubt? And the others, any doubt up to this? Or is it clear to all of you? Shall I move on to the next page now? Page number 43. Is there any question?
Clear.
Okay, fine. So let us move on then. See, now Doris is surprised. What are you saying? You want to go off for the weekend? Where do you want to go? Why not? I could do with a change. Stuck here day after day, week after week. If I don't need a change, who does? Please underline. This line is a very clear indication of the sufferings of a mother by staying in the house day in and day out, okay, within the four walls of the house. So this is what Mrs. Pearson's this dialogue is very important, very, very important. Stuck here day after day, week after week. Yes, I am stuck here day after day, week after week. If I don't need a change, who does? Definitely I need a change. If I don't need a change, who does? Because I am fed up. I am fed up working here, stuck here day after day, week after week. So definitely, in my case, it is very much justified. I need a change. If I don't need a change, who does? Now, Doris, after listening to this, look at her dialogue. But where would you go? Who would you go with? Okay, fine, you want to go, but with whom you will go? Okay, because father is busy in the nightclubs. Okay, so busy with his friends. So with whom you will go? That's my business. You don't ask me where you should go and who you should go with, do you? Okay, now Mrs. Pearson, now again she is scolding Doris that it's my problem, it's my personal problem, it's my business. When you go out with someone, do I ask you questions that with whom you are going and where exactly you are going? No, then in my case also you should not ask that question. Doris, that's different. In my case I am a young girl, and in your case you are a grown up lady. So obviously it's a difference between us. Okay, look at this dialogue of Mrs. Pearson. Please underline it. In that particular special class also I highlighted this particular dialogue. Okay, I am hereby highlighting it once again. I hope it is very much clearly visible to all of you. Very, very important dialogue. Okay, see, the only difference is that I am a lot older and better able to look after myself. So it's you who should do the asking. Yes, I am a lot older. I can understand. I can better able to look after myself. So you should do the asking. You should be worrying about yourself. You should not worry about me. Now, Doris, do you fall or hit yourself with something again? Because see, the way Mrs. Pearson is behaving, normally she never behaves in this way. She is someone who was being scolded by her son and daughter, okay, every time, by her husband also. They neglect her, they take her for granted. But the important thing is that that particular evening time, she was talking in such a way that they are astounded, they are surprised, and that is the reason. Once again, they had previously, the brother and the sister, when they interacted among themselves, they had a prediction they made in their mind that probably he had fallen down from the staircase. Probably she had fallen down from the staircase. She had hit herself. Okay, she hit her head with something. She had a bit of a concussion. Again, Doris was referring to the same thing. Did you fall or hit yourself with something? Because I doubt that why you are talking in this manner. Mrs. Pearson, no, but I will hit you with something, girl, if you don't stop asking silly questions. Okay, but Mrs. Pearson is saying that no, and how many times will I have to say this? And if you don't stop asking silly questions, then obviously I will hit you now with something. Now, this is something Doris never expected her mother to say this kind of words to her. Okay, that is the reason Doris kept on staring at her mother open-mouthed. Okay, as if there is no words to express. Okay, I hope you all can understand. She looked at her mother open-mouthed. Okay, as if she became totally speechless, because she never thought at all. It's like a ball from the blue, we can say, if we can use that proverb here. It's like a ball from the blue, that I will hit you with something if you don't stop asking silly questions. This is something that Doris never ever in her worst nightmare also think about, that her mother can say a word like this or can utter something like this. And that is the reason the dramatist has rightly used the word open-mouthed, because Doris, she was shell-shocked. She was totally shocked, and as a result, as you know, when you mildly scold her, she cries. Now in this case, when obviously Mrs. Pearson told her that I will hit you with something, Doris, she will now cry a lot. Okay, and she already started crying. Okay, see, this is awful. She begins to cry, not passionately. Mrs. Pearson, stop blubbering. You are not a baby. If you are old enough to go out with Charles Pensy, you are old enough to behave properly. Now stop it. Now what Mrs. Pearson told Doris, that crying like this is basically useless. Don't behave like a small child. If you can go out on a date with your boyfriend Charles Pensy, then obviously you are an adult. You are old enough to behave properly. So why you are crying in this way? Please stop crying. Now that is what she told. Now stop it. Now the important thing is that in a very angry manner she told that stop it. If you are old enough to go out with your boyfriend, then obviously you are old enough to behave properly. Now stop blubbering and stop crying in this way. Now as I told you that in this class you will be introduced to the last but not the least another important character, and that character is Mr. Pompey Pearson, the 50-year-old gentleman. Okay, see, and who was actually the husband of Mrs. Annie Pearson. See, George Pearson enters left. As I told you previously, I hope you remember many classes earlier also I discussed about this, that right and left, center, all these are the stage direction. Just imagine you are seeing a live drama in front of you. So this right and left, all these things are, we can say, these are the stage directions. Okay, see, he is about 50, fundamentally decent but solemn, self-important, pompous. Preferably he should be a heavy, slow moving type. He notices Doris's tears. Okay, now obviously Mr. Pearson entered inside the house, and the first important thing what he noticed that his daughter is crying. What is this? Can't be anything to cry about. Why you are crying? That is what he told his daughter. Okay, why you are crying like this? You will see. Now Doris haven't told anything much. She only told George that okay, you will find out that why I am crying in this way. Doris runs out left again. As I told you, right and left, all these things are stage direction. with a sob or two on the way. George stares after her a moment, then looks at Mrs. Pearson, and everything was something that led him to be surprised, because when he entered rather, he found that his daughter is crying. And obviously when being asked that why you are crying, she haven't replied anything, or she haven't told him anything that is concrete. And she went running, okay, by the left side direction. And George was totally surprised that what exactly happened. Now he asked Mrs. Pearson that what exactly happened. Did she say you will see? Yes. George, what did she mean? Better ask her. George looked slowly again at the door, then at Mrs. Pearson. Then he notices the stout. Stout means, remember that wine bottle? Yes, I hope you all remember that she was drinking also. And previously when Doris entered at the very beginning, she was smoking also, and that was the reason everyone was surprised. And now George will be more surprised because he haven't seen his wife smoking and drinking previously. See, then he notices the stout that Mrs. Pearson raises for another sip. His eyes almost bulge. What is the meaning of the term? His eyes almost bulge. The meaning is that his eyes are about to come out of the sockets. That is the meaning of the term. Eyes almost bulge. Now, why eyes almost bulge? This is something when you are totally surprised, okay, when you are shocked, when you never expect that you will be seeing a scene like this in front of you. And that is exactly what happened. And what is the outcome of that? George Pearson, he was astounded. His eyes are about to bulge. That means his eyes are about to come out of the sockets. sockets. Okay, because he never ever seen his wife drinking wine or stout. Okay, so up to this I had discussed. That means up to page number 43 I had discussed in this class. So Monday I will be dealing with the ailing planet, and of course maybe Monday max to max, Tuesday it will be completed ailing planet, and then Wednesday again I will be dealing with this particular drama. As you know, it's a very lengthy one, okay, and so it will take a bit of time in completing this drama. So I have done up to page number 43. Okay, thank you everyone, have a nice day everyone, and see you all on Monday. Thank you everyone. Thank you boys.